Hi, I'm Meredith Blackwell, and I am at the 2019 meeting of the Mycological Society of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this guy's sitting beside me. Who are you?
I'm Joey Spatafora.
How long have we known each other?
A very long time.
Over
30 years.
30 years, just
I'm
about.
55, and I remember my 25th birthday. You remember my 25th birthday? Yep.
Gosh, time flies.
Yep. I was a graduate student in biochemistry. I was miserable, and I met Meredith smoking after the Molecular Evolution Journal clubs.
I quit smoking
I did
long
too,
ago.
but after Molecular Evolution Journal clubs, we would go outside and smoke cigarettes. And she would talk about fungi, and she wouldn't shut up about fungi. And we became friends, and she just introduced me to the world on fungi. And on my 25th birthday, I went to ask her if I could join her lab. And I said, I need to talk to you. And she says, we can't talk right now. I said, okay. And so we go upstairs, and she had a surprise birthday party for me. So we have been friends ever since. So.
Yeah, and I was really lucky he came to my lab. It's just after I'd been at Berkeley and learned to do PCR.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't me that attracted you to the lab. It was that we were the only ones on campus doing PCR at the moment.
And
right?
You smoked in your lab. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's just an exciting time, to think about the confluence of events as far as the technologies and their application to fungal systems just allowed mycology and fungal biology just to leapfrog and make some significant advances in a short period of time.
We had no characters, and many of the characters we had were convergent.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So,
Very true.
and in fact, one of your most cited papers dealt with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not anymore, but in the old days.
The ophiostomatoid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but then you've gone on to much bigger things.
Well, we've had a good, things have gone well. I've been very fortunate, but I'm a professor at Oregon State University and been there. This is my 25th year that I've been there. Yeah.
Okay, so you started out though up in North Louisiana.
I'm originally from Monroe, Louisiana, and I did my undergraduate degree in zoology at Louisiana Tech. And there was a professor there, Paul Ramsey, PR we called him, who was in the heart of the Bible Belt, was this irreverent evolutionary biologist who taught genetics and evolution. And he was just great. And in his lab, I worked in his lab as an undergrad, and I did Alzheimer's.
You were getting ready.
Yeah, all the old starch gels where you had to take them through the 2 phases over the Bunsen burner, and we did enzyme electrophoresis on spotted sea trout. That was the big thing. And he would take us on these desert ecology research trips in the summer that were just fabulous, because he got his degree at Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. And so we would go out and camp in the Chihuahuan Desert for 2 or 3 weeks at a time and just learn how to net bats, learn how to run trap lines for rodents, and just all sorts of things. And we did a lot of collecting of plants as well, and it was a really good hands-on experience as far as understanding the importance of field work in natural history and evolution, and translating that or carrying that through in Alzheimer's work at the time in genetics. Mm-hmm. So it was just a ton of fun.
And so then you came to LSU. And so then we talked about that, but then after that you went to Duke.
I went to Duke. I did a postdoc with Ritas Vilgalis, and that was such an exciting time. His lab still is. It's just a place where people want to be and come together. And it's very collaborative, and just a lot of, I was really fortunate. For me, I was surrounded by people who were a lot smarter than me, and I just tried to soak it up like a sponge. But just a really, really dynamic place. So, and, there's...
And on was it your 30th birthday?
My 30th birthday, yeah. I got my job at Oregon State. Came and interviewed, and Stella Coakley, the chair at the time, called me on my 30th birthday to offer me the job.
And that was your schedule.
Well, I was married and had 2 kids. I really wanted a job.
But you had said you would be a real faculty member by the time
That
you
was
were
my
30,
goal.
I think.
That was my goal. It was to have
Yeah.
a job by 30. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it worked out.
Yep, so you go out west and
Mm-hmm.
you buy an old house that you fix up a lot.
Now you're talking about the mistakes I've made. No, yeah, we've lived in Corvallis. It's a great town. You know, it's a classic college town, and Oregon State is a classic land-grant institution with strong life sciences and natural history and agricultural sciences. Yeah,
You have a great house, though. It's
yeah.
beautiful
Our
house.
house was built. We don't know exactly when it was built. It's on the fire maps, the fire insurance maps of 1895. And it's an old stick house, a simple Victorian. And we have slowly rebuilt it over the years. And yeah, it's good. It's good. It's mine now.
You paid it off?
I'm paying. You know what? My last mortgage is this November.
Wow.
I have 3 left. I'm very excited about that.
You're really grown up. Joey.
Yes.
Well, I just want to mention, too, Joey gave me 2 really great experiences in my life. The first was to go and stay in Thailand for a couple of weeks. And that was really wonderful. That was my first trip to Thailand. I've been back 3 times, but it's really been great. And then the other thing was I met Joey and Elizabeth, his wife, in eastern France. And he took me on a tour of my ancestral home.
Mm-hmm.
So we met my cousin that I'd corresponded with earlier. He shared a great-great-grandfather with my great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather,
Yeah.
something like that. But we didn't have a really close relationship, but since he was a genealogist, we're pretty sure it was true.
Yeah.
So Joey and Elizabeth took me all around to see these places.
That was a fun trip.
And it was. And
Yeah.
I found out that my great-grandfather left France for the same reason as some of the president's relatives. They were poor, and they needed to go to America to make some money and have
Yeah.
a better life.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people did that from that area of France at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great. He arranged all that.
Both of those trips, both of those were sabbaticals.
Mm-hmm.
I am a firm believer in taking sabbaticals.
Well, I had a sabbatical, but it was only 5 weeks away, where John Taylor taught me to do PCR. So
I have
that was a
4
great
more years till I'm
sabbatical.
eligible for my next, and I'm counting the days. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, what else? You've got some children.
I have 3 kids. Well, my wife Elizabeth met in graduate school, and
They both took mycology.
yeah, we
same
met.
semester.
I think it was in Shirley Tucker's Mycology class. I think it was, and yep, we have 3 kids: Anna, Joya, and Nicholas. 27, 25, and almost 23. And Nicholas, our youngest, just graduated, so everybody's graduated from college.
And he's in fermentation science?
He's a fermentation science guy. He's a brewer. He lives in Bend, Oregon right now. Joya is a museum curator archivist. She's in graduate school in Madison, Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin. And Anna is a food scientist, and she lives in Denver.
And she has a degree in...
Food science,
food
food science and
science,
technology.
okay.
It's a fermentation. They're all
Yeah.
both fermentation
Yeah.
degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you've had a number of students.
Yeah,
Postdocs?
yeah, postdocs and students. I'd have to sit down and think about how many, but around 10 postdocs, around 15 or so students, something like that. And you know, Oregon State's it's easy to attract good people there. It's such a wonderful place, and we've been really lucky, and just some really smart kids and people who've come and worked in my group.
And then you've had real good associations with people in China?
And a number, yeah,
In Thailand?
China, Japan, Korea, Thailand. You know, one of the big perks of what we do is you can travel as much as you want to.
Yeah.
And you can develop these types of international collaborations, and I've just always really enjoyed that. And equally, I've enjoyed having international students and postdocs in my lab. So right now, one of my postdocs, she's originally from China, but Canadian citizen. One of my postdocs is from Colombia. One of my students is from Mexico. 2 other students are from the U.S. So it's just, you know, I really enjoy that part of it a lot.
Yeah, and the work that you've done with cordyceps, why don't you tell us how you split cordyceps up?
Well, cordyceps, you know, it's one of those things that just captured my imagination the first time I saw it and learned about it. That they're, you know, I just had no idea there were fungi that attack insects in that way. So when I first learned about it, just captured my imagination. So we worked on that we've worked on it for a long time and demonstrated that it's actually a very old and polyphyletic group. And so what was one genus is now 30 genera across 3 families. And it's just a very hyper-diverse group, particularly in tropical and subtropical parts of the world where you have a lot of high phytophagous insect diversity. And it's an interesting group, a lot of interest in it from biocontrol, a lot of interest in it in pharmaceuticals. There's a number of pharmaceuticals that have been developed in Western medicine and a long history of it in traditional Chinese medicine. So going back, the oldest records go back to about 600 AD.
Wow.
So a long ways.
Yeah. So anyway, you're continuing with other things, so you've broadened out. You still do some cordyceps work.
Yeah, we still do. Right now, most of our work is focused on the genus Talipocladium, which has insect parasites, pathogens of other fungi, wood endophytes, soil fungi that we don't know what they do. We just isolate them from the soil. And so it's a single monophyletic genus with diverse ecologies by species. So it allows you to kind of test different elements of genomic evolution, especially around secondary metabolites and how they correlate with ecology. So it's cool.
Okay, Joey, anything else we've left
Oh,
that you want to
just,
say? Okay.
No, just saying, I'm incredibly thankful for all the opportunities you've provided me over the years.
And
I would not be sitting here today if it wasn't for you.
well, I think you would have found your way, but you ought to thank MSA too while you're at it.
Oh, yes. I've always thanked MSA. MSA has been really good to me.
He's won some awards.
I have won some awards. It's provided me incredible opportunities. The most important opportunities it provides is the networking opportunities, interactions with people.
Yeah.
There's no more important resource than the human resource. And MSA provides just this environment to interact with people. It's an amazing group of people. Not every society is like this. A lot of scientific societies can be very contentious, and MSA is just very welcoming and collaborative. So
Now, I remember your first meeting.
I was roommate with Charles Mims.
Yeah, no, that was a later meeting. Well, no, I think it was a later meeting, but the first meeting I remember.
We went to San Antonio.
It was San Antonio?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you couldn't drive the car because you hadn't gone to David Hawksworth.
Almost killed us. Yeah.
Anyway. But that's right. But we had talked about appropriate garb for meetings, I think.
Did we?
I think so. And
I take it I didn't wear any? Or didn't wear appropriate garb?
Well, it was fine. It worked out well. But I think you had was it a tooth around your neck, a whoop tooth or something that had never been sold that a friend had given you.
I don't remember.
Something a friend had given you, a big necklace, actually. You were wearing a necklace at your first meeting.
Oh, well.
Okay, but you've done fine.
Good.
It didn't matter.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go MSA.